A story by Matsushita Konosuke. In 1977, I did something surprising. I had 26 directors in my company. I chose the 25th person, almost the lowest person, to be the new president. Everyone was shocked. Why? Because there were 24 people above him. They were all hard workers. They were all very smart. I was confused too. If I looked at ability alone, other people were better choices, but I chose him anyway. Why? After 70 years in business, I learned one important truth. Serious, smart people don't always become leaders. People who succeed have something different, something beyond being serious. For a long time, I couldn't explain what that something was, but that day, I finally saw it clearly. Today, I want to share that story with you. To be honest, when I was young, I believed that being conscientious was the most important thing. But after watching thousands of people, I noticed something strange. People who work from morning to night. People who do perfect work. People who never complain. These serious people often don't become leaders. This is not an accident. There is a clear reason. Before I talk about why the 25th person that I chose, let me explain why conscientious people struggle to move up. Conscientious people follow rules. They listen to their boss. They do their work perfectly, exactly as told. This is wonderful, but there's a trap. Serious people get stuck on the right way to do things. They follow what was done before. They don't question common sense. They follow the manual exactly. What happens then? Their vision becomes narrow. They lose flexibility. They can't think of new ideas. They can't see what's in people's hearts. I have seen so many conscientious people. One day I had to remove a department manager from an important position. This man was more serious than anyone else. Every day he came early and stayed late. He made perfect reports. He always followed orders. But I could see the problem. He was too serious. He couldn't see how his team members felt. He couldn't see what customers really needed. He was so focused on finishing his work that he couldn't see the bigger picture. I told him, "You are conscientious." I recognize that. But being conscientious alone cannot move people. He looked shocked. Of course he did. He had worked hard for many years, believing that conscientious work would be rewarded, but this is the truth. Being conscientious alone is not enough to become a leader. So why I chose Yamashita? What makes someone different? What makes them able to lead? This is why I chose Yamashita Toshihiko. Yamashita sat in the lowest seat among the directors. He didn't have a fancy education. He only graduated from technical school. He worked his way up from the bottom. But this man had something the other 24 people didn't have. He had a honest heart. Sunaona kokoro. What is an honest heart? When people hear honest heart, many people misunderstand. They think it means saying yes, yes to everything, being obedient. No, that's wrong. The honest heart I'm talking about is not weak like that. An honest heart means a heart that is not trapped by self-interest, not trapped by emotions, not trapped by knowledge or prejudice. It means trying to see things as they really are. Conscientious people get trapped by the right way. People with honest hearts see the truth. This difference is very important. Yamashita was the lowest ranking director, but he spoke his mind freely in meetings. Other directors watched my face carefully. They chose their words carefully. But Yamashita was different. He said what he thought, directly. Even to me, he didn't hold back. Why? Because he had an honest heart. He didn't worry about his position or his relationship with me. He saw the truth and said what needed to be said. When I saw this, I thought, this man has what it takes to be a leader. Let me tell you a story from 1927, when I first developed an iron. I called a young engineer and told him to develop an iron. This engineer had experience with metal, but he knew nothing about irons. He tried to refuse. "I can't do this alone." I said, "No, you can do it. I believe you can." He looked worried, but I could see it. This young engineer had an honest heart. He had no preconceptions, no fixed ideas. That's why he could think of new ideas. That's why he could see the truth. I believed in him. 3 months later, he created exactly what I wanted. A low-price, convenient iron. An experienced engineer didn't succeed. A young beginner succeeded. Why? Because he had an honest heart. Experienced engineers get trapped by their knowledge and past successes. They have fixed ideas about how it should be done. But young beginners are different. Because they don't know anything, they only see the truth. They only think, how can we make customers happy? That is an honest heart. Conscientious and honest. They seem similar, but they're completely different. Conscientious people follow rules. Honest people follow truth. Conscientious people follow past success. Honest people see present reality. Conscientious people fear mistakes and become too careful. Honest people don't fear mistakes and move toward truth. This difference separates people who succeed from people who don't. Some people might think Matsushita succeeded because he had an honest heart. No, that's wrong. I didn't have an honest heart. At least, I couldn't achieve it perfectly. Let me tell you the truth. When I was over 80 years old, I said to my assistant, EY, please bring me a textbook on honest hearts. EY said, there are many reference books, but no textbook. I was quiet for a while. Then I said, I meet many first-class people. When I meet people who are called first class, they all have something in common. What is it? They all value an honest heart. Fortunately, I also tried to value an honest heart and told everyone to do the same. Then I stopped speaking, and quietly, but with feeling, I said, but recently I myself cannot be honest. I tell people to stay calm, but my own heart is not calm. I tell people to see others' strengths, but I only see my employees' weaknesses. Please help me. I'm sorry, but can you create 100 rules for having an honest heart? EY looked shocked. The god of management, even at over 80 years old, was still struggling to find an honest heart. But this is the truth. There are no perfect people. I wasn't perfect either. I taught about honest hearts, but I myself couldn't be honest. But that's okay. What matters is not becoming perfect. What matters is continuing to seek an honest heart. Continuing to try for your whole life to have a heart that is not trapped. At that time, I created a book with EY called To Have an Honest Heart. I made it for myself. Even at over 80 years old, I kept learning. I kept growing. That was my life. So what is the secret that successful people have? It's the power to help people shine using an honest heart. I often said, if you gather only first-class talented people, the company becomes strange. Many people are surprised to hear this. They think if we gather capable people, shouldn't the company improve? No. What happens when you gather only capable people? Everyone wants to show their ability. Everyone insists on their own way. They don't cooperate. They don't listen to others. The company falls apart. What matters is not ability. What matters is an honest heart. With an honest heart, you can listen to others' opinions, cooperate. Admit your mistakes. Be flexible. Help people shine. What leaders need is not their own ability. They need the power to help others shine. After Yamashita became president, sales and profits grew 2.6 times in 9 years. Was Yamashita a genius? No. Yamashita helped people shine using his honest heart. He listened honestly to people more capable than himself. He gave work to his team members, and after giving them work, he continued to watch over them. I taught him, give responsibility, but don't abandon. Just giving responsibility is irresponsible. But if you don't give responsibility, people can't grow. Give responsibility and watch over them. Help them when they're in trouble, but don't interfere too much. This is the power to help people shine. And at the root of this power is an honest heart. Because you have a heart that's not trapped, you can trust your team. Because you have no selfish motives, you can be happy when your team grows. Because you have no prejudice, you can accept new ideas from young people. This is the secret that successful people have. I lived for 94 years. I started working at age 9. I was weak and sick. I had no education. I had no special talents. But there was one thing I spent my whole life seeking: an honest heart. Working seriously is important. Trying hard is important. But that's not enough. Without an honest heart, people cannot shine. You cannot shine either. An honest heart means a heart that is not trapped, a heart that sees truth, a heart that helps people shine. Anyone can develop this. Age doesn't matter. I was over 80 and still seeking an honest heart. You don't need to be perfect. What matters is continuing to seek it. Even if you've been a conscientious worker, even if you haven't been promoted, it's not too late. Please seek an honest heart. If you do, your life will change. This is the truth I learned in 94 years. I hope Matsushita Konosuke's teaching can help change your life. If this video helped you, please write 100 in the comments. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Please consider joining our membership. Please reply to other people's comments too. Next time, I'll share more wisdom from great people that can change your life. Thank you for watching all the way to the end.